Hello, and today I'm going to show you how to design a responsive line chart in Figma. Now, you may have to show this for your work or your presentations or whatever the case may be, and I just think it's a very important thing that not a lot of people know about, so let's talk about it. So as you can see, I have this finished product right here, and if I resize this in a horizontal way or a vertical way, it resizes. Everything is responsive. So how do we achieve this? Well, let me just start off by deleting this because we're gonna start this from scratch. So as you can see, I only have one frame over here, and it's um, 800 by 261. It really doesn't matter what size it is. It's about it's really irrelevant right now. I'm gonna remove the auto layout on the frame as well. So we're gonna do this with the help of auto layout. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm gonna hit T on my keyboard and I'm gonna type here sales 2025 because this is gonna be a chart related to sales. Okay, so we have our heading over here. It is a tad bit too small for my taste, so I'm gonna make it 18 so that it's bigger and people can see. So we have our heading, and now I want to add a little bit of a legend to this one, and we're gonna do it on this side. And the first thing would be revenue, and whoops, and of course this is way too big, so I'm just gonna make it 12. And then I'm gonna need another one, which is going to be called revenue and expenses. Yes. So these are the two things that we're gonna showcase in this graph. And if I zoom in a little bit, I'm gonna make a line next to each of these. So hit L on your keyboard and make a line like so. And I'm gonna give this a red color, and then I am gonna make another line, and this one's gonna be a different color, maybe a blue, but you know, you can choose the colors. That is not that important. What's important here is that they are noticeable and you know, that it looks fine. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit, and then I'm gonna select these two, hit Shift A, put these in auto layout. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for this. So the order of this matters. If you're gonna try to combine all of these at the same time, it's not gonna work because of the spacing issues. But now that I have these two in an auto layout, I'm gonna combine these two in another auto layout. So as we can see here, we have frame 3, which is the main auto layout, let's say, main auto. And then we have the left, or let's say the revenue, and then we have the expenses. So I'm satisfied with this, and this seems to be just fine. And now I'm gonna combine it with this one. So select this one, Shift A. So now all of this is in an auto layout. I'm gonna name this auto layout top bar, and then I'm gonna make sure that this one over here is set to align to the right side. If I double click this, it's gonna align to right. If I double click it again, it's gonna align to auto. We want it to be on this side because we want it to stay on this side even when we resize it. So let's check. I'm gonna start to resize it, and it obviously, because of our settings, it is resizing with it. So Command Z to undo it. Okay, so we have our top bar done, which is amazing. Now we want to go into the next section. So I'm going to hit Command and select this piece of text because that's all I need. I'm going to drag it out. So this side I'm going to make the y-axis, and this side I'm going to make the x-axis. So for the y-axis, I would need a monetary value. So I'm just going to say, okay, 500K, and we're going to go down from here. So Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D a few times, and I'm gonna go all the way to 100. So 450. Okay, so we have our y-axis over here. This is just 50k increments, and I'm gonna select all of these and Shift A, put them in an auto layout, and I am going to increase the spacing between these to about this much. We can just eyeball it, but this is what we're working with. So I'm gonna make this so that right now I'm not gonna mess with anything. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it as it is. So now we have the y axis here, and I'm just gonna select this one right here and option and drag, and I'm gonna create another one, and this one is gonna be called the x-axis. Because we don't need to make another one, we can just change this one, and I'm gonna change the orientation to horizontal. You see how it's like only limited to this portion over here and doesn't extend all the way across? Well, we can fix this by changing the fixed width to hug content, and this way it's just gonna wrap around everything. So obviously we need to change these, so this way I'm gonna have months, so January, Feb, March, April, May, June. So now we have a nice x-axis, and we can increase the spacing because we want it to extend a little bit more. All right, fantastic. Now we have the y-axis and the x-axis. Now we need some lines over here, so let's do that. I'm gonna hit L on my keyboard, hold down Shift, and just kind of like make a line holding down Shift because we want a straight line. And then I want it to be a little bit grayish because I don't want it to be super noticeable. And then I want to come down here to the settings, and I want to change it to dashed, and maybe increase the dash a little bit, maybe to 4, but you can just pick whatever you want. And then I'm gonna hold down Option and hold down Shift as well, because we want it to be exactly under it. Or if you don't want to hold down Shift, it's also fine, but make sure that you use these red lines to guide you a little bit, and make sure that these align with the numbers to the left. It doesn't have to be that way, but it's just better. It just helps you with counting how many lines you need. So we need about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So once we have these lines set up, we can select all of these and Shift A again to put this in an auto layout. And I'm going to name this lines. So the reason why we're doing it like this is because we wanted to resize. So now we are going to mess around with these settings a little bit. So first of all, I want my lines to, like when I have the line selected, I want them to basically resize with the rest of the frame, because right now if I do it like this, if I resize the frame, they are being responsive, but they're not like totally responsive. As you can see, if I do it from this side, they're not responding. So how do I achieve that? Well, right now I don't have the fill container option, but if I combine this and this, right? And this is important because if we combine all of these together, then we can't make them resize properly. So you have to do the right side first. So I'm going to select these two, Shift A in an auto layout. Now, if I select the lines by double clicking them, I have this option of fill. So I'm going to choose fill for both. And let's see how this performs in a little bit. But first, I want to change check the x-axis as well, because we want it to fill container this way, like horizontally, but not vertically. Vertically, we want it to hug, because when we resize this, we want it to stay the same. So let's see how it's performing as of right now. As you can see, the lines are responding, but what's on the bottom isn't. And the lines aren't responding horizontally now. So let's see. There's a lot of trial and error in this one. So you kind of have to like see what works. One thing I did notice is that this is aligned to the top center. So let's say we double click this and make it so that it's spaced even. And for this one, I think this looks fine. So let's see. I'm gonna align or change. And now the lines are being responsive because of our settings. How about we do the same thing for this, space even. So let's see now if it's gonna be responsive. And sure enough, it is responsive. So we're just gonna undo this. And now we can select these two. Okay, before that, I'm gonna name this frame right side. So I know that this is the right side. And then I'm gonna select this and this, the y-axis and the right side, and Shift A in an auto layout because I want everything to be cohesive and responsive at the same time. But as soon as we do that, we notice some issues. Now this is not responding correctly. So first things first, I want to select all of this and call it graph. And then I will come here and select this and see what's going on with this. Right now, I think what is the problem here is that it is not spaced even. So if I do that, nothing's gonna happen. But let's see, this should be hug contents because I want it to stay the way it is. And this should be fill container. So as soon as I do that, you see that it changes and it fills up the container. But still, it's not totally aligned, the way it should be. So what should I do with this one? So right now, if I check this side over here, I can change the paddings for the bottom one over here so that it goes up. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna stop as soon as it reaches that level. And let's see. This looks to be, this looks to be fine, but you can see that it's not performing the way it should. Like there's still some kind of like disalignment. So let's see if we can somehow change this side over here and make it a little bit more so that it is aligned better. And now it seems to be fine, but let's see if it is actually responsive, because that is the main thing over here. Let me just check again. I'm gonna use the same thing over here. Let's see, if I do it right now, I don't think it's gonna work because on the right side, we don't have, we have fixed width. So we want it to be fill container both ways. So let's see, as soon as we do that, it breaks the whole thing down, but don't panic. Now, before I change anything here, I think the best way to manipulate this, because there's only one auto layout here and nothing else except for this auto layout, but they're not interactive, like meaning they're not combined. So what I want to do is I want to build this up, like we built it up from the smallest thing to the biggest thing. So I want to build this up all the way so that it is, the auto layout is everywhere, like even in this frame. So then it can be more responsive. So let's do that. I have this thing over here in an auto layout, the graph. Now I want to combine these two and Shift A. Now this whole thing is an auto layout, and just gonna call this a main auto. But you can name it whatever you want. And then finally I'm gonna select the entire frame and hit Shift A. Now, as soon as I do that, it is going to fill it up, but I can change it to, honestly, like whatever. So let's go with 600 maybe. And now I can come back to this one and fill container. And then I can just go down this whole thing, and the graph should also fill container because right now it is at hug. So if I do that, now it's filling up the container. I want it to fill container both ways. Let's go down a little bit. Fill, fill, and fill, and fill. And let's see, this one over here is also set to hug and fill. We don't want this to fill up. One thing that you have to make sure that all of these axes, yes, are spaced even. So here it is spaced even, spaced even. What about the lines? Lines are spaced even too. Okay, here goes nothing. Now if I resize this, you'll notice that everything is responsive. And that is fantastic. Now we've made this perfectly responsive. Okay, cool. Both ways. It does this horizontally and vertically. So that's cool. Now, I want to add some lines to this to give this a realistic feel. Now I want to add some lines to it to make it more realistic. And there's a plugin called Chartline. So you can just download this and you can just basically create random lines. So if you want it to be, let's say for revenue, I want it to be, let's say slope can be this way, so it shows some kind of progress. So I'm just gonna create this line over here. It's just gonna paste it for me. I'm gonna select this and kind of like, whoops, sorry. Hold down Command and then select this line and drag it out because I want to edit it before I put it in the graph. So I'm gonna extend it a little bit, make it more accustomed, or let's say more like matching to the frame itself. And then I'm gonna just take it and drop it in the frame with the lines. So as soon as I do that, you see this weird thing happening. So it's interacting with the line, so I don't want it to do that. Now I can just come here and tell it to ignore auto layout. And as soon as I do that, it's just gonna be like a floating thing. It's gonna float on top of our auto layout. And I'm just gonna extend this. And since this is supposed to be the revenue, I'm gonna just eyedrop the color of my legend to this graph. All right, so we have our line. I want to create another line using chart line, and this one I want it to be sloping towards the other direction because I want it to maybe show that where the expenses are coming down and the revenue is going up, so it looks like a positive chart, you know what I mean? So let's do it like that, and sure enough, we have created our line. Make sure you drop it in the lines part over here, but if it's not working like that, just drop it wherever, ignore auto layout, and then you just have to locate it in the section over here, in the layer section, and it's right here with the right here on this side. So I'm gonna go to the line section and I'm just gonna take this and drop it here so that it knows where it's gonna be. And then I'm just gonna resize this. And the good thing about this, let me show you after changing the color. Just gonna change the color quickly so that it's aligned. And the good thing about this is that if I select this line, I can hit enter and these points can be changed. So if I'm not satisfied with something, I can change it. So I can totally make it look like the way I want it to, which is great. Now, the one last thing is that select both the lines, make sure both lines are selected, and put the constraints from left to right on the sides and top and bottom from top and bottom. This way it's going to resize perfectly. Okay, let's see. Final round, let's say. And yep, everything is being responsive. Everything is moving, which is what we wanted from this line chart. So yeah, this is how you can create engaging looking charts. You can even make a bar chart with this one, or like with the dots as well if you want to. So this is a very handy trick for anyone who's learning how to create graphs and infographics in Figma. So I hope you found this tutorial useful, and let me know in the comment section. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.